Hey Studio One users, today we're looking at the metronome and the tempo settings in Studio One. So there's a few things that that you need to know. One is the starting tempo of your new song. So when you do start a new song in the new song setup, so if we go new, if you already know the tempo of the song, you can actually enter the tempo down in here. But if you don't know the tempo, there's a really cool workaround here that we can do to get the starting tempo for your song. So let's get out of that. Down the bottom here in the console, you'll see that we've got tempo. So again, you can type in the tempo of the song that you're doing if you know it. If not, you can use tap tempo. So all it means is you can just have your arrow on the word tempo down here. And if you actually click in time with the speed of the song you're going to put down, it will approximate the tempo for you. So let's say the starting tempo of your new track is about here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If we just simply tap into the tempo here, that speed, 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll notice that the tempo has changed to 91. So that gives us a good little starting point there. So the next thing we need to do is set up the metronome. So down the bottom here, this is where the metronome settings are. And you can turn the metronome on and off by hitting this little metronome looking icon down the bottom here. But to set it up, what we do is we hit this little wrench icon here. And let me move it out of the way of my head. Is it over there? Or is it over there? No, there it is. It's right there. So here's where we can set up the click track. You can also turn the metronome on and off or activate it using this button here. We'll talk about the render later on, but these are the settings that you might want to change. So you've got accent, beat, and off beats here. Accent is the first beat of the bar. So if I turn these down and hit play here, so you'll notice it's giving us one click on bar 6, bar 7, bar 8. So it's basically the accent on beat 1 of the bar. Then if we turn up beat, that then gives us the in-betweens or the quarter notes in this instance here. So if we turn that up, now you'll notice that we get a constant kind of clicking. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's pretty close to what we had tempo-wise at the start there when we tempoed that in. And the off beats, again, are another division of those beats as well. So in this case, it's the eighth notes. So let's have a listen to that now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you can change the different volumes of the different divisions of the beats depending on what you need. Usually I leave the accent up pretty loud and the beats in between, so you can definitely tell where the first of the bar is. 2, 3, 4. And this brings me to the actual sound of the click as well. So over here, you can have the accent, or that one of each bar. You can have it as tools. That means Pro Tools, actually. It sounds a lot like it. Logical is logic. Go figure. But anyway, you can have a rim shot, or you can have, this crystal sound or logic. So I like to have the click sound as the first of the bar, which is that kind of sound. I like to have the metronome high as the beats in between. So you can hear the tone, the actual accent click is higher in pitch than the beat one. So you can definitely tell when you're playing where beat 1 is. And then obviously if you do ever, say, do a slower tempoed song and you want to hear those little offbeats, because it makes it easier to know where the timing is, especially at a slow tempo as the bars are a lot longer. And so to get the division right, it's very cool to have the offbeats in there so that you can get some good timing. So when I do that, I have it on the Metronome 1 setting, and let's have a listen to that. It's got its own little groove. So then you can actually have some presets there. So if you like yours there, so what I'm going to do is save that as my preset. Okay, so you can actually load another preset up here. So as you can see, I've just saved my preset. So that's the one I like, or you have some different ones you can choose from. Good starting points. So then you've got pre-count and pre-roll, and then you can set how many bars you would like that to do. So in other words, when you press record, it'll give you a pre-count. I like 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, and then the recording will start. A pre-roll, it will give you a 2-bar pre-roll, which you'll hear everything that's, in the recording 2 bars before, but it won't start recording until those 2 bars are done. So I hope that makes sense. So pre-count is a very cool thing to do, just to get into the groove of the song, especially when it's right at the start. And then obviously you've got some other options down here. Click in play. That's if you really want to have the click going while you're mixing and stuff. Sometimes it's handy when you're editing, things like that. Click in pre-count only. So that basically means that the click will sound only in the pre-count. And then repeat accent there. So in other words, you can have play a 6/8 click like 2 times 3/8. So down here, as I said, you've got your tap tempo, so it's a great way to get started. And then you've got the metronome settings down here. So this turns the metronome on and off. There's your setup. And this little button next to it is the pre-count. So that's a handy little way to, without having to go into settings, you can just press that little button there called pre-count, or you can see there the keyboard Shift-C. So I hope that helps. In the next one, we're going to show you the actual tempo track. Gives you some good ideas of how to, say, speed a chorus up or slow down a bridge or something and have the click follow along. So see you in that one.